In episode 11, we discussed Elon's concerns about extinction-level threats to the Earth, and therefore to human beings. He wants to make sure that the Earth is protected and human life will go on. Okay, fair enough. Planetary destruction is certainly possible. But let's face it, is that alone enough of a reason for Elon to be in such a hurry to get humans off Mother Earth, colonize Mars, and explore beyond the solar system? Underlying the doomsday scenarios and the thrill of exploration, there's an even more fundamental motivation driving Elon that doesn't get the attention it probably should.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Every now and then, Elon mentions a certain term, the light of human consciousness, which doesn't get talked about that much. He has further stated that he wants to extend the light of human consciousness beyond the solar system. Notwithstanding other reasons he has listed, I think that this is the real foundational reason why he wants to go to space, because within that expression is the deep-seated assumption and belief that humans possess something of immense value.
There's two reasons for life to become multi-planetary, life as we know it to become multi-planetary. I think one is the defensive reason, where I think we want the light of consciousness to not be extinguished if something were to happen to Earth, to ensure that life is not just, and consciousness is not only on Earth. That's the defensive reason to protect the future of consciousness.
When I looked into the other billionaires who want to go to space, I was surprised to find so little about what was driving them. Richard Branson, for instance, started Virgin Galactic at least because he wants to secure humanity's future. And he's wanted to go to space since he was a boy, so again, there's the adventure component. Nothing unusual there. As for Andy Beale, I couldn't find much about his motivations other than the business aspect of having a space company, but I'll take a wild guess that at the very least, the adventure appealed to him too. It's such a common denominator. I also found out more about Jeff Bezos, which is not surprising because he's so high profile and has given many interviews. Here are some of his comments.
I'm pursuing this work because I believe if we don't, we will eventually end up with a civilization of stasis. Now, if you take baseline energy usage globally, across the whole world, and compound it at just a few % a year for just a few hundred years, you have to cover the entire surface of the Earth in solar cells. So what can you do? Well, you can have a life of stasis where you cap how much energy we get to use. Now, take the alternative scenario where you move out into the solar system. The solar system can easily support 1 trillion humans. And if we had 1 trillion humans, we would have 1,000 Einsteins and 1,000 Mozarts and unlimited, for all practical purposes, resources from solar power and so on. Why not? That's the world that I want my great-grandchildren's great-grandchildren to live in.
Sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? It's a lot like the world Elon envisions. Which brings me back now to Elon Musk. Elon does want all those things too, to explore space and save humanity. But this light of human consciousness thing is actually sort of different, and I can't find comparable comments from the other guys. So let me try to explain why to Elon, the light of human consciousness is so important, and indeed foundational to everything he's trying to accomplish. Elon has previously said that, to the best of our knowledge, the only conscious life that we're aware of is on Earth. Conscious in the sense of at least thinking that it has self-awareness. Like I think, therefore I am, or whatever. You know, Descartes. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old. This suggests that if the universe is this old, if the solar system is this old, it's odd that only now very recently has life evolved that can talk and write and communicate ideas in a sophisticated way. He has a good point. This is directly akin to the question of why isn't the moon covered with space junk? That is, evidence of spacefaring civilizations. Despite all claims about Area 51 and pictures of UFOs, Musk apparently thinks those pieces of evidence don't carry much weight. Now, what I find interesting is that Elon has used this term, the light of human consciousness, many times over the years, and it appears that this is the underlying reason why humanity, to him, is worth saving. Notice that he keeps using the term light of human consciousness and not just something like human life, nor does he ever talk about, say, animal consciousness. And Elon does not couch his Mars plans in terms of just survival of the species. We're not talking about merely saving DNA. Elon's motivations are much more noble. To him, humanity's uniqueness lies at least in our self-awareness. Elon is saying that humans possess something altogether special, this human consciousness, and that this thing is worth saving.
What are the important steps in the evolution of life? And obviously there was the advent of single-celled life, there was differentiation to plants and animals, and I would argue also on that scale should fit life becoming multi-planetary. And in fact, I think consciousness, it's the next step, actually, because you really kind of need consciousness to design vehicles that can transport life over hundreds of millions of miles of irradiated space to an environment that they did not evolve to exist in. If one could make a reasonable argument that something is important enough to fit on the scale of evolution, then it's important and maybe worth a little bit of our resources.
In June 2018, Elon also tweeted, "We are essentially a steward of life, and duty-bound, in my opinion, to ensure its continuance." So, Elon is a humanist, but not because he's just a fan of the species in the way that, say, residents of Los Angeles tend to be Lakers fans. He's not a fan of humanity out of mere proximity. Rather, Elon sees something truly special about people and what we have collectively produced so far, and I am assuming, what we can yet achieve if we but choose to follow the better angels of our nature. And furthermore, if you'll recall how we mentioned that Elon is always in a hurry, it is somewhat true that he's a little worried, because he's just not sure how long human consciousness will be around.
This is the first time in the history of Earth that it's been possible for life to extend beyond Earth. That window is open. Now, it may be open for a long time, or it may be open for a short time. And it may be open now and then never open again. So I think the smart move here is to make life multiplanetary while it is possible to do so. We don't want to be one of those lame one-planet civilizations that just dies out.
No, those are lame.
Yeah, lame.
Now, we should mention that Elon's purchase of Twitter was apparently directly related to his mission to extend the light of human consciousness. This was confirmed by Jack Dorsey, who tweeted on April 26, 2022. "In principle, I don't believe anyone should own or run Twitter. It wants to be a public good at a protocol level, not a company. Solving for the problem of it being a company, however, Elon is the singular solution I trust. I trust his mission to extend the light of consciousness." Furthermore, Elon has said that SpaceX and Tesla can be seen as having the same underlying mission. If we expand the scope and scale of consciousness, then we are better able to understand what questions to ask. Becoming a multi-planet species and ensuring that we have a sustainable climate on Earth, these are very important to that overarching philosophy. Take a moment to let that sink in. Twitter, SpaceX, and Tesla are all to him important to the end goal of preserving and extending the light of human consciousness. If that is true of his biggest companies, then I will assume that his other companies are important for the same reason. Thus, to Elon, the light of human consciousness is something that needs to be fostered and extended here on Earth, as well as sent out into the cosmos. Human consciousness should go out beyond the solar system, not just for humanity's survival, but for what we can accomplish and learn. My philosophy is to expand the scope and scale of consciousness that we may better understand the nature of the universe, Musk said. I have a sort of proposal for a worldview or motivating philosophy, which is to understand what questions to ask about the answer that is the universe. The answer that is the universe. You might recall this language. It's a direct reference to Elon's favorite book as a teenager, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and how in it, an advanced civilization was trying to find the ultimate question, the answer to which was the universe. To little Riley, Elon's second ex-wife, has said that Elon is, in part, still a little kid. I think she's right in more ways than one. He was supremely influenced by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to a degree that most of us can't begin to understand or appreciate. Elon has never stopped searching for his own ultimate question, and, through his companies, he is trying to preserve, expand, and extend human consciousness in order to fulfill a childhood dream that has stayed with him all the way into adulthood. And truth be told, I have never seen companies that so directly reflected the personality of their leader. The Musk companies all unmistakably bear Elon's stamp because he has spent so much time and effort shaping them, basically, into his own image. Ultimately, it all boils down to something very personal. Elon's companies can be seen as extensions of himself, tools and vessels that will foster, nurture, and raise the light of human consciousness to ever higher heights so that he can complete his life's quest. Remember that in his opinion there is no evidence that other worlds have ever developed consciousness. Elon is very disheartened to think that other civilizations out in the galaxy never made it past the single planet stage. That to him makes human consciousness all the more precious and worthy of guarding. He probably assumes that his own consciousness alone is insufficient, but collectively we might get there. In his mind, the light of human consciousness may therefore be his only shot at finding the meaning he's been searching for his whole life.